HooHooHooRobin.
I want to say good morning to Marc Maron.
Hello, fellas.
Mark.
Who's in the middle of a very interesting story.
I know.
Yeah, really.
I would love to hear.
One of the podcast we put up yesterday was live from Vancouver, and the way it was recorded by some idiot up there, I don't know, there was a problem with it. Like, it only came out, like, it won't work in mono, it only comes out, whatever. We fixed it, I think. But the Vancouver show's got about, Margaret show did about 10, 15-minute one-woman show on my dick to my face.
Really?
We fucked once.
Oh, you did?
Once.
Once?
It was like right before I started seeing Jessica, the girl I'm with now. But, she came over, we did the podcast, we were like, there's been sort of an elephant in the room for 25 years.
Really?
Yeah, should we do this? She's like, yeah, maybe we should, so it was that kind of thing. And it was good. It was like, all right, we got closure.
Was it awkward going into it? Like, because you were friends first? Was it awkward starting with the kissing, or did it just kind of...
I don't know. Is it ever? I mean, I think it was a couple of sex addicts getting some resolution is what it was. You know how that goes, right? It's like, let's do it. And it went pretty well. It was a little odd. When you realize you've known somebody 25 years, like, hey, we're just a couple of middle-aged people trying to get something back here. And
wait, was there ever an attraction that was just building up over the years?
What happened was once years ago when we were up in San Francisco, they did those Comics Come Home specials.
Sure,
The Dennis Lee hosted the Cam Neely things, or he produced them or whatever. And there was one year where I was literally just following her around. I think I might have still been drinking, and I was just like, I'm gonna fuck her. This is gonna happen. When you got it in your head, it's not in their head at all.
Right,
but you're gonna follow them around.
Until they see it your way.
Right. So I was just all night just like, hey, what's up? What are we doing? What are we, to the point where I think I followed her to her hotel room. Like, I'm going to walk you back to your room. We're all in the same hotel. Yeah. And she opens the door, and I walk in with her. And she just looks at me, and she just kisses me on the mouth. Like, big old, like tongues and everything. And she goes, is that what you needed? Are we done?
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I guess so. And that was it.
That was it.
So, like, this is a long time coming, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's about, but anyway, so we do the show in Vancouver. I don't think she's going to bring that shit up. And I'm like, what do you want to talk about? She's like, I got this going on. And she's like, maybe we shouldn't talk about it. And I'm like, yeah, probably not. I mean, I got a girlfriend now and everything.
No.
And we get out on stage, and right out of the gate, it's 10 minutes. It wasn't a bad 10 minutes. She was saying I had a big dick. All right,
that's not bad.
Right, so what am I going to do? Please, could you not?
Hey, knock it off.
Stop talking about my big dick. Right.
Yeah.
I would assume Mark's packing because he has big dick guy confidence.
Really?
Really?
I think I got a fat one. I think it's got some girth to it. It's not long. I don't have any problems with that.
Well, who had she been fucking beforehand? That's really key. Like, if she just came out of a fucking long-term relationship
woman.
with an...
I have no idea. I have no idea. It was embarrassing, though, because I don't talk about that shit.
Right, yeah.
So there I am in a live situation. There's nothing you can do. And she's like, oh, my, for 10 minutes.
And that's the last segment you want an audio problem with.
Yeah, right.
When the girls talk about how big your dick is.
Right. So the thing goes out yesterday about, I don't know, not a lot of people, there's some problem with and they're writing me saying there's a problem. Like, oh, my dick fucked up the internet.
I can't wait to listen.
I fixed it.
Good.
It was embarrassing, but again, you're not going to stop someone. Please don't.
Right. Right.
I only met Margaret once. We don't know each other
sexy?
at all. When I met her, she was really sexy. She was warming up the Louis Anderson show or something. This is like late 90s. And she had really bigger tits than I thought. She was sexy, man. Yeah. And that was the only time I ever interacted with her. But I was like, I definitely see why guys would like her.
She's definitely sexy. And, and she's, she's out there too. She's
right. Well,
she's a little out there. Because she's one of those people. She's married, and I don't know. I think how it shifted. They had one of those relationships for a while, and then they don't. I don't know how the fuck people do that.
No, I can't imagine that.
Do you understand how people do that?
Open relationships.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Yeah.
When do you come home and go, how was everything today? Well, I fucked that lady at work.
Right.
Oh, good for you. How was that? Tell me about it. You get a picture with your phone? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, there's a lot of people into that, too, man. They're totally cool with it.
Yeah, have you seen swingers? Not an attractive bunch, by and large.
I don't know. I don't know how you live your life that way. But
it just seems to, like then why be in the relationship at all?
I just don't know what the relationship is built on.
Right.
You know,
it's not built on complete jealousy and shallow sexual attraction.
Yeah, if you can't honestly go, who are you fucking?
Right.
You know, and with that amount of anger and that tone, where's the love?
I do like the fact that they feel there has to be certain rules set up.
Right.
So it's like, you're not allowed to fuck anyone between 6 and 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, because they need some type of rules.
No coming in people.
Right. Yeah.
No kissing.
That's
You've
right.
heard that over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no
only
open
I
mouth
jerk you off with the left hand. Don't let any other girl jerk you off with the left hand. That's our special thing.
Those are our boundaries.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It is. It's stupid.
Mark, did comics thank you or what? You showed them the way. Every comic is doing a podcast now, and you have to be the godfather of podcasting.
Oh,
You have to. I remember years ago you were doing our show saying, I'm thinking of doing this thing.
Yeah.
Fast forward a few years.
Podcasting? What
Not
is
only
that?
is your thing fucking huge, they talked about it in the New York Times and Rolling Stone and all this shit. Every comic is now doing what you started.
I don't know if they thank me, and I like to think.
Do you feel good or bad about that?
It depends who you're talking about.
And not only are they doing it, they really followed your exact fucking format.
Well, Pete Holmes actually shamelessly says he stole my entire show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. But he says it to my face, and then he laughs, and you're like, okay, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
I stole your show. Like, all right, well, I guess this. But the truth, you know this to be true as well, is like no one invented interviewing. I'm just talking to people, so you're going to bring your own thing to it.
Right.
And I'd like to feel proud that I inspired a lot of people, but in my mind, what they said was like, hey, fucking Maron can do it.
Anyway, this
it's
is
not
easy.
like he did a great thing. Let's try to do what he did. It's like, hey, that idiot, he's been around for 20 years. And, I hope they don't think it's some sort of fast track to success. I just lucked into something. My timing was good. There were guys doing it before me.
No, but you had an Air America gig, and then you were kind of like just hanging out, and then you built this. It's kind of cool to see it build from absolutely nothing into something that's really listened to.
But who was doing it before you?
Corolla, Kevin Smith.
Oh, well, Corolla was a radio guy that just moved over to
Jimmy Pardo. Jimmy Dore and Todd Glass had a show. There were, I can't claim to be the first podcasters. Then there's podcasters before podcasters, when podcasters were just guys in a building that invented podcasting, talking to each other.
Right.
And of course, they're like, we were the ones. Like, you didn't even listen to yours.
All right, fair enough.
one's
But
watching
you
or
brought it
listening.
to a whole new level.
No,
obviously.
I think that I helped the
and
medium.
it's incredibly successful.
Yeah, we're doing all right. Things are going well.
I need to know numbers.
Okay, I can tell you numbers.
You will tell me
Sure.
numbers.
Like on average, right out of the gate, over time, most episodes get between 350 and 400,000 downloads. Right, but that's over time. So like initially, they get between 250, 300,000 downloads.
So
each
your next
episode.
podcast will definitely do 250 to 300,000.
Right
out of the gate.
Yeah, give it a week or so. I think it kind of builds, and then people come back.
Then your fans are like, all right, well, now I want to check out a couple other podcasts I missed, and that's what brings up the other numbers.
Right, and every time, and I try to make them as evergreen as possible. Like when I left Air America, when that was the beautiful thing. When I hear you guys having management problems, at least you're not on fucking terrestrial. You never know when, like those guys, the last gig I had over there, I think I talked to you about this. I was doing some streaming video show with Sam Cedar because they agreed to pay the money I needed to get out of the divorce, so I did that, and they fired us and they didn't take our security cards away or our office. Now that's progressive politics. They will fire the guys, but they're still on contract. Let them hang around.
Well, that never happens.
No.
Don't take their cards away.
Yeah.
But the best thing I ever did, I think, was get out of talk. I don't talk about politics at all, and just keep them all evergreen. That's the point I'm trying to make. So if anyone hears the show, they can pretty much go back to any of them, and they're not going to be dated. They're not going to be.
I remember when you were going through that.
idea.
I remember when you were going through that transition because a lot of people knew you as you're
Political
hilarious, but a political guy. And I remember you.
Holy shit! Took a long time to get rid of that.
Well, we were trying to push you on stuff, and you could see like your lip quivering. You wanted to, and you were biting yourself, but then you're like, no, man, I'm changing my whole fucking image, and you did.
Well, it was just that there's no way, no matter what side of the aisle you're on there's no way to be a divider. There's no way, like you can't literally if that's your racket, you can't attract regular people, from the right or the left, because you're going to piss off someone. Like I don't want to listen to politics, and I'm progressive, but I want whatever. Right. That guy's a fucking liberal fag. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? So I don't. I just talk about the existential. I just talk about the despair
of
being me.
Right.
The struggle of waking up.
Right.
Right? Then politics, like, and also after doing politics for a year and a half or two, you realize, like, you're just carrying water for somebody. Mm-hmm. No one's a genius. You're just regurgitating someone else's bullshit.
Yes.
And then one day you wake up and you're like, I have no original ideas. I just keep, I've read all these talking points, and I think I've been, made them my own. Yes. And then you get disillusioned with the whole process because you realize nothing gets done.
You read one book and you think you're an expert.
Oh, or 3 books or parts of them.
Back in the day, I would go to Barnes & Noble. I was reading a political book every other week, and I'm like, what am I doing? You're right. They're not my thoughts.
Yeah, it's difficult. I realize, I was a pretty angry guy no matter what, so why not just talk about the real shit? I try to keep it, because I think that, existential fury is timeless.
Right.
Politicians come and go. But the struggle of being you will remain until the end.
Yep.
Well, I'm not listening to a lot of podcasts, but I certainly listen to yours. Marc Maron's podcast is great.
And you got to
really is great.
Plug the book too. I didn't know you had a book until I literally walked in. It was sitting on the desk. It's called Attempting Normal, and there's going to be some book signings starting May 12th in Portland. I guess go to your website for that. Or
WTFpod.com. It's funny because when I wrote this book, I thought about you, Jim. Because, Jim would, I'd see him at the cellar. He'd just be typing away. He's like, I'm working on my book. But there's a chapter there, like I thought about you and about being a comic and about, what you write about. And it's not a through line. They're essays, but they're the full picture. And I literally have 2 experiences with prostitutes in my life. That's it, 2. And I'm like, Jim would do this. And but you would do a whole book on it. I've got 2, and I'm like, I got to include those.
Sure,
because that's what people want from us.
Right.
And they are the saddest fucking hooker stories. The saddest.
Why? Without giving.
No,
I'm gonna sell a lot of books for you. You got to tell me why they're sad.
It's like the reason I put them in is like it was. I'm not a hooker guy. Never was. But there are these 2 fucking one time. I'm in Boston. I'm living in Boston. I'm actually living with a woman. Right. She's out of town. We live down by Symphony Hall, which is a shithole. There's the dirty, horrible hookers there. And you'd see them every day. And that's the weird thing. It's like you walk by them every day. I'd get up to park my car, to move my car at 7 in the morning, and one of them would grab my dick and say, "You want a date?" I'm like, breakfast would be not. What are you going to do? So one night, I'm coked up. I'm going home. It's like 2:30, 3 in the morning, and I see one of these hookers, and she, first a guy approaches me, goes, "You want coke?" And I'm like, "No, I got coke. I'm good." And he was clearly her pimp, because they kind of trail around. And then the hooker comes up, "You want a date?" And I'm like, "All right, yeah. How much is that?" She goes, $30. I'm like, "That's great."
30.
Yeah,
wow.
30. Good one, right?
Yeah, that's old school.
Old school.
Wow.
Street hooker, right?
Yeah. Damn.
And I'm like, "Great." She goes, "Where are we going?" I'm like, "Well, I live here." "Great, I'll take you into my house where I live with my girlfriend." Fucking horrendous. And we walk up like 5 flights of stairs. By the second flight, she's wheezing. How far up is it? And we get up there. This is literally the first time I've ever been with a prostitute. So we get up to where the apartment's 5 floors up. She's wheezing, and we get in there, and it's a futon on the floor. And I'm like, "So what are we doing?" She goes, "Well, give me the money." So I give her the money. And I go, "You want me to pull my pants down?" Yeah. And so I lay on the bed, I pull my pants down, and she starts blowing me. And it's not good. It's not great. It's just sad. I can't transcend the sadness of the situation. Uh-huh. And then she goes, "You want to play with my tits?" And I'm like, "All right." She goes, $10 more.
Oh, jeez.
So I have to pay her with her, with my dick out. So I give her the $10, and she takes her tits out, and she puts my hands on them, and I'm holding them. She goes, "Do you feel a lump in that one?"
Oh, no way.
Swear to God. And I did, and I'm like, "Yeah, I think you might want to get that checked." And somehow,
holy shit!
But somehow or another, I was able to focus and finish.
Wow.
That was the big payoff. Yeah. But in the middle of this, the saddest fucking thing was the phone the phone rings and the machine picks up and it's my girl who I live with. Hi, I just wanted to make sure you're okay.
Wow, you had a lot of distractions
there.
Just
a shame vortex.
Yeah.
And then I finished this horrible thing, and and she's like, yeah, I don't usually do this, of course, I work with computers. All right, you might want to go to a doctor. I'm not. You get a second opinion on a thing in your boob because I'm no professional.
Wow.
And then she takes all the condoms off of my dresser. Says, "Can I have these?" Yeah, please. You better please do. And then I just went in and took a Silkwood shower. Horrible.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I guess this story. Who cares? Yeah, it was the same situation. I was driving home in Boston. I was late at night. I'd been out with some other guys. I was coked up. It must have been, who knows? I don't know fucking what year that was. 88. Who knows?
Cocaine's an awful drug, but it starts a lot of great stories.
Yeah. Because, first of all, your dick doesn't work really. It takes a lot of effort on coke to get your dick to work. And many times in my life on coke, I have masturbated for hours just to try to come down. Sure. It's horrendous. But it's been a long time. So I'm coked up, and I'm driving in downtown Boston, the zone.
Combat zone.
Yeah. And it's one of those, again, I'm driving, I wasn't living with anybody then, but I'm driving, it's like 2:33, it's late, and I'm driving, I'm like, I got coke brain, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do a hooker. And I think this was after this, so this is the second time. I don't remember the order, but I see one, same type of thing on the street. There's no one out at that hour down there. Huh. And I pull up, and I swear to God, she said this. I pull up and I go, hey, and she goes, you want a date? And I'm like, yeah. She gets into my car and she goes, I don't usually do this. I'm just in town for my father's funeral. I swear to God, I'm just in town for my father's funeral. Why would I make that up?
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry. So then I go, where are we going? She goes, just pull over up here. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I pull over, and she goes, pull your pants down. So I pull my pants down. I pull my underwear down. She puts a rubber on my sad, limp coke dick. Just tries to wedge it on there. And she starts blowing me, and I can't do anything. I can't get it up. I'm in the middle of the street. I got a rubber on. I'm on coke. And within seconds, I'm surrounded by police cars.
Oh, shit.
It's like, lights, cops, action. Ooh. And I'm like, holy fuck, what do I do? She goes, I think you should pull your pants up. And I just pull my pants up. She goes, I'll take care of this. She gets out of the car and starts some drama with the cops. He saved me. My boyfriend was going to beat me up. And I'm like, thank God. Turns into an opera.
Wow, what a trooper.
Yeah, good egg.
And then the cop comes up to my car. And this is at a time where they would list you in the paper.
Right.
We used to read those. We used to.
On the air?
Yeah, we were assholes.
But then,
I regret that one.
Right, so there was something.
Dicks.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, the cop goes, and he just looks at me, and he shines his light, and he goes, where do you live? I go, Somerville. He goes, why don't you go there? And I'm like, I will go there.
But I'm trying to get a blowjob, officer. Right. You understand. Fuck, I paid for this.
So I drive off, just, sweating and freaked out. And I realized that, I hadn't pulled my pants. I had pulled my pants up, but they weren't buttoned. I hadn't pulled my underwear up. So I looked down, and just my sad little dick with the rubber hanging off is sticking out. Almost like, why do you do this? Let's not do this anymore.
Shit.
So those were the two.
That's bad luck, man. Second time. That's telling you something.
No, I'm done.
Fuck.
But in the car on the street seems like it would be a little fucked.
That's how it always was.
It was another $30. It was a $30 situation.
Wouldn't that be extremely nerve-wracking?
Yeah, that's before the internet. You didn't bring these girls home from the street. You couldn't go on Craigslist.
Man,
it's dirty business, and it felt dirty. Even that none of them. Well, the first one went all. It was not for me.
A lump in the tit and fucking and my father's funeral and the police.
Yeah,
those are two fucking great ones.
Yeah.
And they're in the book. They're in the book. The Marc Maron.
Yeah. Had to put those. That's a tribute to you. I don't know that I would have put them in if I'm like, well, Jim would put this in.
If I didn't put them in, I would have fucking released the leaflets. I had nothing else to talk about. A fucking flyer.
There's a lot of stuff. There's stuff about the divorce. There's stuff about my parents. There's stuff about Viagra. There's stuff about cats, guitar, pants.
I swear, I just got the book too, and I just opened it up, and I opened it up to the chapter, and I swear I didn't set this up. I almost died.
Oh, yeah.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, there were a few times you almost died.
Well, yeah, I should qualify that. In my mind, I almost died.
Okay.
So these are not menacing.
I almost died, number 1, Cleveland.
Yes, that's the airplane one. Yeah. That's when I'm pretty sure I almost died on an airplane. Then there was another chapter in there where I'm pretty sure I almost died from the spicy chicken in Nashville.
Spicy chicken.
I almost died from mouth cancer that I thought I had. So they're not menacing stories. These are not, stories.
Sure.
Are you normally a hypochondriac?
No, I don't.
No.
Well, who is it?
Well, I used to be bad because I can't believe I never told you that story. Have I never told you the story about how I cured the hypochondria?
No, I'm not sure.
My dad, was a doctor. So, as a kid whose dad's a doctor, there's part of your brain where, in order to get his attention, I think I was sort of like, I'm sick.
Oh, there you go.
Right, because he's busy. But if you're sick, he's like, well, let me have a look at you. I was a sophomore in college, and I decided that I had, what was it originally? MS. I was pretty sure I had MS, right? So I start calling my father, like, Dad, I got MS. He's like, well, you don't have MS. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I got MS. He goes, what are your symptoms? I don't know. Hands are tingling. I don't fucking know. He's like, you don't have fucking MS. I'm like, all right, I think I do, but all right, goodbye.
I think I do.
All right, so goodbye. I love you.
So I do that for about a week, and he doesn't bite. And then, I start with, I'm pretty sure I got prostate cancer. He's like, why would you have prostate cancer? My ass hurts a little. I don't know. My hands are tingling, something.
Hands are tingling again.
He says, I don't think you have prostate cancer. So I pester him for like a week, and then I go home for Christmas break after pestering him like almost every night with the prostate cancer thing. And I get to the airport in Albuquerque where I grew up. It's like 7 at night. He goes, I go, where are we going? He goes, we're not going home. He goes, no, I'm taking you over to Bob's house. And he's gonna examine you. This is his friend who's a urologist, because he's a doctor. They all know each other. So Bob, the urologist, is gonna examine me. We're driving from the airport. My father drives to this guy's house.
Jesus.
Right? Knocks on the guy's door, and the guy's getting up from dinner. I see he's wiping his face. His family is at the table. And my father's like, hey, Bob, my kid thinks he has prostate cancer. Can you take a look at him? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, come on in. So now, Bob walks me and my father back to Bob's bedroom. And I'm like, what's going to happen here? And thank God Bob, got hold of himself. And, I'm standing there with these two men. And he's like, maybe he should come into the office. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should go into the office. So he doesn't, finger bang me in his bedroom inappropriately. So the next day or the day after, I go to Bob's office, and the prostate thing, it's a gnarly examination, especially when they want to really check it, because they got to put their finger in your ass, press on it, and then you got to milk some liquid out of the tip of your dick and put it on a slide so they can look at it.
Jesus.
Yeah, there you go. Good morning.
Ugh.
So it turns out I got some sort of prostatitis, which is stress-related, genetic, whatever the fuck it is. It's a thing. So I got something, which as a hypochondriac, you're like, huh?
There you go.
See, I told you.
Yes.
Right.
So he gives me antibiotics for this thing, and I take them for like a week or 10 days, and then I still feel it, right? So I go back to Bob. He does it again. And he does the whole thing, and he says, it's gone. You don't have anything. I'm like, all right. I thought I felt something. Okay. So I go back home, and then like before I go back to school, I see something on my dick. So I'm pretty sure it's herpes, right? So, but I think it was just I jerked off too hard, because I wasn't even fucking really then. So I see something. So I go to Bob. I call Bob's office. He goes, you know what? Meet me at the hospital. So this is so I meet him at the hospital. He takes me into a room. He takes my dick out. He swabs this jerk off sore, and he tests. He's you don't have herpes. And like 3 days before I go back to school, I'm like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that it's herpes or something. And I go back. This is the fourth time. The fourth time in 3 weeks.
4 times.
Wow. So I go back to Bob Rosen, and I walk in, and I'm standing there. I got my pants down. He's, sitting in a chair. I'm standing up. He's holding my dick. And he looks at it and he goes, there's nothing wrong with you. Do you like coming here? That was the end of it.
That was between holding your dick and shoving his finger in your ass, and milking your prostate. It's like,
maybe I do like coming here.
That would be something that the guy would think, like, Jesus Christ, this guy.
That's funny.
That was the end of the hypochondriacal episode.
Yeah.
No, I'm not really that bad with that.
You seem really happier.
I feel better, you know.
What's going on with you? What changed? What did you try something different?
Well, I think
not that you were miserable, but
I was pretty miserable.
You had your moments here and there over the years on our show.
That's pretty miserable. I think what happened was, you know, when everything fucking crapped out on me and I started the podcast without any real expectation, I was at a real low point. That, you know, as people began to like it, and when people, you know, not even on a business level, just the fact that I was doing something on my own that people liked, I think I finally got a little bit of, you know, genuine self-esteem and validation. I think, you know, I don't know if it's happiness, but I feel like after working 25 fucking years and being nowhere for years, really, you know, not being able to sell tickets or whatever, all of a sudden this happens. You're like, all right, I didn't throw my fucking life away.
Right.
Yeah, you got to feel a little better. You know, I've still got problems. I've still got a girlfriend that's asleep right now, and you know, still got to worry about her waking up.
So you were feeling frustration over the years. Like, what the fuck? This should be, you know, better for me.
Well, I think I was consumed with, you know, a certain, you know, bitterness that I thought was, I think I romanticized bitterness. You're like, I'm getting fucked, you know, why am I not? And, yeah, quite frankly, that's not attractive disposition.
Right.
That's what I learned. I mean, you knew me. I was a little more aggravated and, you know.
Yeah, you definitely seem more content. I mean,
I exuded a certain negativity that I thought was like, come on, all of you feel this. Dig deep. You can't sell, like,
it's there somewhere.
I thought everybody must be like me in there. Yeah. You know, I'm the only one being honest about how life is fucking us. And you should wake up and feel the sadness.
Nice.
That wouldn't be a good name for a special.
Yeah, right.
But I think what happened, you know, I'm a little panicky. You know, I mean, you know, things are going good this week. Everything's sort of lined up. I got the show starting on Friday.
Yeah.
It's on IFC.
IFC, yeah.
What time is it on? Friday what?
10 o'clock.
Friday, 10 p.m.
And I did 10 of those, and I think they came out pretty good. I like them. You know, I'm happy with them. They
What's
represent
the show
me
about?
well. It's, you know, it's a stretch. It's about a guy whose career went off the rails, and he starts a podcast in his garage. It's just,
yeah. Oh, where'd you get that idea
Yeah,
from?
it's crazy, right? But, you know, I got, you know, certain people playing themselves as podcast guests, and then there's sort of the backdrop of my life, which is, it would have been probably based loosely on the first year or so where I just started doing it, and me coming out of the divorce, dating a bit. There's a couple episodes with my father, who's played by Judd Hirsch. And then,
wow.
Yeah, 2 episodes with him. And then I've got, you know, a lot of people play themselves on the show. Dave Foley, Dennis Leary, Garland, Mark Duplass, Adam Scott, Aubrey Plaza, Ken Jeong, Bobby Slayton in a pinch at the end. That was hilarious. He's hilarious. You know.
Yeah. The Pitbull.
But it was funny. Like, he's on the last episode. Kindler plays himself, and some of them integrate into the story a little bit, and others are just a few minutes on the podcast. And, you know, there's just episodes of my life. I meet a girl, you know, based on the relationship I have now, and there's a kid who plays my assistant. This Josh Brenner kid. He's funny.
Wow, man, it's very involved.
Yeah, it was a single camera thing. You know, I'd never done that shit before. It was very exciting for me because the weird thing about whatever's happening is, you know, when I started the podcast, in my mind I was like, well, I finally, after I had my ass handed to me by the woman. And she left. There was part of me that's like, well, this shit, I gotta realize who I am. I'm not gonna be a fucking relevant comic. I'm not gonna get a shot on TV. I'm gonna do this and hopefully not die broke and have insurance. Like, I really let the shit go. I was like, fuck it. I've been humbled. Just own it. What are you gonna do? You can't do anything else. Plan Bs. There's no plan B after you're 45 years old and your brain is like, well, this is bullshit. I could always wait. There used to be stuff in that folder. There's nothing. What am I gonna teach? What am I gonna do? So I'd let go of all this happening at all. So it's all very exciting. And I'm very humbled by the whole thing. You know, but I never wrote I never wrote television. Never had the opportunity to act much.
Did you write the show and pitch it, or did somebody say, "Hey, man, you ought to do a show," or did you say, "Fuck, this might be a good idea for a show"?
Well, what happened was, you know, when you do comedy, if you want to be on TV, you got to figure out. Hopefully, your life turns to shit or gets better every few years, or where you go pitch it. But what happened is Jim Serpico over at Apostle, which, you know, he runs with Dennis Leary, their company. He liked the podcast, so he called me in, and he said, I love this thing. Is there something we can do with it? I'm like, well, I got an idea. Let's do a show about a guy who does a podcast in his garage. He's like, all right, that's a good idea. So he had a deal with Fox Studios, so they put in some money we decided to shoot a pilot presentation. So Jim hooks me up with this writer, Duncan Birmingham. We write this 15-minute piece to be like sort of a mini episode, to shoot it and bring it around. We thought that'd be a good idea to bring out, you know, something to give a feel of the show. So we shot that. It came out to about 20 minutes, and Ed Asner played my dad in that one.
Wow.
Yeah, people are very available. If they got the day to work, they'll work. You know what I mean? They're not doing. I'd be surprised.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
He wasn't available for the series, but so we took it around, and a few people passed on it, but IFC loved it and they got behind it and they said, let's do 10. So that's how that happened.
Where you are. Wow.
Yeah, because of that presentation. Bobcat Goldthwait directed 4 of them, and he also. Would that be a spoiler? Yeah, he's in one of them. That's all I'll say. It was an amazing experience.
And when's the show on again? IFC?
Fridays. 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. I want to make sure people check it out.
The first one is about an internet troll. It's me and Dave Foley, and it's based on a real story, but it didn't go as far as it went on the show. I can't fucking deal with him. Yeah, I can't. I can't. And when they know that you can't deal with them, then you're just vulnerable to it. It really takes a lot for me not to sort of like engage a guy with 3 followers for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes people they get on me. It's like, why would you even respond to somebody with fucking 3 or 4 followers and stuff? I'm like, I'm not responding to him. I'm using what he said as a vehicle to get my shit out there.
But it rarely works because
it never works.
Because as soon as you engage, they're sitting at home, in their boxers going, got him. One. Me.
When you realize they'll never like you, it makes it a lot easier. Because I think there was a time where I thought, wait, I could turn this fucking person around. What do you mean?
That's what I did.
And then you realize, wait, I could cure fucking AIDS and they're still going to hate my fucking guts. And when you finally realize that, it's so freeing. They'll always be there to hate you no matter what the fuck you do or even if you change everything.
And I'll tell you, like some of your fans really fucking hate me. There's some guys that listen to your show, they love me, but the guys that hate me, that like you guys, they're rough.
Half of them hate us too.
Oh,
No, we're learning that. They hate.
Oh, we get that too. I blocked so many people on Twitter. I have blocked so many fucking people.
Yeah, I don't even deal.
I don't deal now.
Even the slightest thing, I just block.
It's weird because sometimes I can just sort of like, I'm above this. I'm not gonna respond to this. And then you go look at how many followers you have, and don't do it. But if they get you at the right time of day, you're fucked.
You got a little time on your hands.
I want to dump some hate into this machine.
Do you know what helps? You know what helps deal with them? What? When you think about it, how many people have ever walked up to you and said, "Hi, I'm so and so from a message board or Twitter"?
Never
once.
Oh no, once or twice.
Was it the guys that have been trashing you?
Not really.
No.
Sometimes, but if you do call them on it, like if you do, like it's a troll culture now. I mean, it's predatory. All of it. We got patent trolls. You know about these fucking guys? This is why you're lucky to still be on radio. They're these guys. Literally, there's a whole patent troll industry. What they do is they take software patents, the patent system's very weak. So these guys basically get patents on math problems that represent technology, and they sue on them. They sue people that can't afford to litigate. Like there's a bunch of Corolla is getting nailed with a suit, and a couple other podcasters because some guy has the patent for podcasting. All right, it's a piece of technology about menuing in a sequence or something. We don't even fucking understand it, but all of a sudden they come after you and they're like, "Hey, you owe us money." It's a shakedown. Give us some money to protect you from us suing you. So that's a whole other fucking issue, but it's a whole troll culture that like I don't even know.
I didn't even know that was going on.
It goes on in technology all the time. The tech companies.
Well, obviously Apple is
patents.
always getting screwed by Samsung, who's getting screwed by this guy. Yeah, because they use some kind of thing that they deem proprietary.
Right. Well,
but in podcasting?
Well, that's the thing is like at that level, all those big companies, they own patents and they protect their devices like that. And that's how Apple won against Samsung. But the same law enables these guys who have made nothing.
Yeah.
Patent software, which is basically a math problem. They built nothing and they can register it and then go after a guy that can't afford to pay, to litigate because it's hundreds of thousands of dollars to litigate patent suits. And they literally say, like, you want to license our stuff or we're going to sue you. It's fucking complete mob tactic.
How much do they charge their license?
I'm not going to talk to them.
Oh,
yeah. At this point, like, some of us have gotten letters from these guys. We're inviting you to license. And I'm like, what is that? And, a lot of us are in touch with the EFF, the Electronic Frontier Foundation. We're trying to figure out what to do as a community because it's brutal. You're literally threatening to sue guys who are working in the garage. Some of us, you make a few bucks, but they went after Sam Cedar. He doesn't have a pot to piss in as a podcaster. What the hell is he going to do? What do they want? It's fucking horrendous.
That's mob tactics.
It's all it is.
Using,
complete extortion.
You're extorting money from people.
Wow. And are they people that were doing the podcast before these guys had the patents, or no?
Well, the way this patent thing works is like the patent was introduced in like 1996. There's a whole world to it that I don't quite understand. The only way to the patent system is like arcane. It's like archaic. And these guys have found this loophole, this method of shaking people down. And they're just, I don't know how those fuckers sleep at night. Do they have children? Is it, Daddy, right? What do you do? I shake down guys, with a math problem. I make them pay. That's how you're in school. There's a guy that does a show in his toilet, and I make him pay me money. Yeah, Jesus. Fucking bastards.
That's just exhausting out there.
And like I don't, it's a pending issue right now. There's about a dozen of us that got these letters. Got a second letter. We're still here, and we're suing. They sued CBS and NBC for their podcast. They sued How Stuff Works. So what I was hoping is like, all right, those guys got money. Yeah. Somebody crush this fuck.
Somebody fucking take this guy on. But normally they probably settle just to get rid of it.
That's the problem.
And the guy continues.
And it strengthens their bullshit patent. Like we just got a bunch of money from him, so you're kind of fucked. No one's going to fight this fight for you.
It's a precedent.
A precedent is set.
Holy shit.
So it's all just happening now, but the tech industry has been dealing with this shit for years. These little companies, like some people who just have a website where they sell, little sock monkeys.
Right.
Yeah, they get a letter like, you're using the on button. And
that says process order, that button?
We invented that. Here's a math problem that proves that.
Wow.
And they're protected.
Cocksuckers.
They're protected.
Wow. Fuck, I didn't know that was going on at all.
No clue.
Wow. Look it up. It's horrendous.
Brutal.
But I don't think they've ever, come after guys. Like they picked a bunch of guys on microphones.
Yeah.
So now we got to figure out how do we not say something that's going to make it worse. It's like, we're not going to sue you for the patent anymore. We're going to sue you for slander, you fucking idiot.
Wow.
But like I got freaked out about it.
No shit. Yeah.
We had a meeting. I was like, we put together a little community. I wanted to see what the hell Corolla was doing.
Yeah.
He got named in the first suit. So I say, Adam, I'm going to put a bunch of guys together. We can talk about this. It was funny, though, because we all go to Adam's house. There's about 10 of us, Fitzsimmons and a bunch of other guys.
Fighters, getting together.
And I'm like, and I just want Adam to tell us what's going on. And we get down, and he's like, all right, Maron, what's going on here? I'm like, what do you mean? What about you?
Someone's got to be William Wallace here, motherfucker.
That's right.
I'm willing to paint my face and shit, but someone's got to be William Wallace. God damn.
So, we're all sort of in it. We're all communicating. It's going to be interesting because it's still like it seems like it might. I don't know how some of these things, legal things.
Yeah.
What I was telling you though is that they get these patents that were some of them are very old, and I'm not sure how it works, but like the patent for this part of the technology goes back to like 96 or something. So they figure out a way to reintroduce it and kind of reframe it and re-register it. So the reason they got to have that backdate on it is that if you can find any prior existence of technology similar and prove it, the whole thing goes to shit.
Yeah.
It kills it. So that's called prior art. But, these guys know the language. They know how to figure it out. But this patent that they're trying to sue us on, or they're threatening to, can apply to anything. So you've got two parts of your brain going, when this happens, you're like, fuck these guys. We're going to take them down. And the other part is, why me? Go sue somebody.
Go fuck with him.
Push them onto somebody else.
Yeah. Get away from me.
That guy's got money. I got nothing.
Wow.
You know what? That's the part you want to fight in yourself. Like, let's fight this fight. Hopefully somebody will do it.
It's beyond me how this country is just so litigious like that, and
it's troll
you
culture.
Can't just be
predatory.
A fucking guy in a garage with a microphone having some fun and making a few bucks without someone crawling up your fucking ass.
Right.
Really?
Right. That's it. It's horrendous.
And it doesn't matter what you do. You're right. It doesn't matter. If it's not podcasting, it's fucking, you have a carpentry shop and then the fucking wood knot guy is fucking...
knot guy.
Knot in the wood? Yeah, I patented that. What?
I made the tool to get that out.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrendous. And that's why I call it troll culture. That's trolling. It's all the same shit.
You're right. Yeah,
on every level.
Trolling.
On every level.
Yeah.
It's predatory.
What do you think's going to end up... Where does troll cancel culture go, you think?
Well, I just think that everyone's going to eventually be afraid to do anything for fear of being attacked. Everyone's going to have to protect themselves somehow legally. But
it seems like everyone is sick of it. I think even the trolls are sick of it because they get trolled. I think everyone is sick of the troll culture already.
I don't know what happens. It's like predatory and it's weird and it's cowardly and it's just maybe it's because maybe the whole manufacturing base thing, like, hey, we don't make anything in this country but assholes.
Right.
Like I don't know.
You're so right.
I don't know what happens. That's a business like this patent troll business on the tech level makes billions of dollars. It's a business. That it's registered, like I just don't know where these fucking guys. How do they justify it in their mind?
Yeah.
How do they have a conscience about it? Like you got to rationalize a lot of shit. It's that same kind of death camp thinking. I was just following orders. This is just the way life is right now.
Right.
Is I do this, I crush the little guy. I mean, the patent system apparently was put into place originally. Did you? What the fuck is the name of that documentary thing that kid did? Oh fuck. Whatever. It's put in place to protect people and encourage it. Like they put statute of limitations on patents, so people who invented them could make a little money, but then it goes back into the world, so you could evolve. Like,
and then a competition makes things better and better.
Right. You take from the past and you make it better. And now these guys do this loophole. So what they're basically doing is guaranteeing that we don't progress at all. By making you afraid to, you can't invent something. Look what I invented. A guy did that already. You owe me money. No, I want to use it as the basis of my new idea. Fuck your new idea. Give me money for the old idea. Shut the fuck up. All right, great. That's what we do now?
Fucking amazing, yeah. Pricks.
God, scumbags. Wow. But everyone's talking about the Fiona Apple podcast. I was talking to you about this before the show.
Yeah, that was intense.
Can you tell people? I have not listened to it
Here's the
yet.
issue with the podcast is that, like, my show, like, the most recent 50 are all there. So for 6 months, you get everything for free. And then after that, it goes behind a paywall, and you got to get there. There's an app that's free, and then for like $8, you get a premium app. You can stream everything. So you can get it there. Fiona was, I'd met her a couple times, and, we had talked before, and, she's a very talented person. And, a sort of like a little kooky, fragile, but really a genius, And it was not really a controversial episode, other than, like, I just got her on a good day. She came over and she just talked, and just was talking, about her own insecurities and about her creative process and about hummingbirds. And, I mean, it went all over, but it was funny. It was interesting because it was one of those interviews, and I'm sure you've had this happen where about 45 minutes in, you're like, I better bring this around to songwriting. Or people are going to think she's a little loopy.
Right. It's like, let me save you. I'm going to fucking save you right now.
But I think it was...
we let that shit go.
I know you do.
And so do you. I mean, you have gold. You're like, holy fuck, she's talking out of her mind right now.
But I do ever, like, I think that some creative people are just like that. And and I bought her a new record, and I got to be honest with you, like, I liked her, but the new record, it's one of those things where, when you listen to a record and there's something so raw about it that you're like, not only is this genius, but, like, I'm uncomfortable.
Wow.
Like, it was one of those things where, like, I have a certain amount of respect for people that, it's not that they don't have a filter, but it's hard for them just to exist in the world because they're so sensitive, and their creativity comes from this place where it's, she doesn't go out much. She's not, she's a real artist, and, and it's difficult for her. So I'm not there to make too much controversy, but I think it was just it was one of those situations with my show is I think a lot of people have never heard these people talk at all. Like, I got, the guy from Dinosaur Jr., Jay Mascis.
Sure.
Like, I didn't know that he wanted to do my show, and I've been doing musicians lately, and I'm like, great. And I was excited about it because I love those guys. I mean, he's a genius, that guy. And I ran into Dave Cross, and I said, I'm interviewing Jay Mascis, and Dave goes, good luck with that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, he doesn't talk. I'm like, what?
Shit.
Then why do you, so it was one of those situations where I'm going to do an hour at least. I don't care what happens. I'm going to sit there. Right? And we're going to sit there for an hour. It's like therapy. It's like a therapy session, but not in the sense that I'm doing therapy, but like we're on the clock for 50 minutes. So if you want to sit in silence, we'll do that. But somehow or another, I got him talking about, his dad, who was a dentist, and skiing, and it was like, Jay Mascis, he skis? The hell is, and it turned into something. So that's really all I'm looking for. So I just,
the Fiona Apple, a lot of people were talking about, so.
It's a great episode, because you really get a sense of who she is, and she's an amazing talent, that person.
And is she nuts, or is she just an artist, or is she still good looking?
Yeah, she looks great. Yeah, she looks great. Now, and I don't know, like, it's tough. I mean, maybe she'd be nuts if she didn't do anything. Do you know, like, if you just met her on the street, and you're like, what do you do? And then she drew you a picture and taped it on your head. I mean, but the fact that she's fucking Fiona Apple. I mean, she does these amazing things, like these amazing songs. So yeah, I don't know that she's nuts. I think what you get is, if I do what I do right, you get sort of a portrait of that person. You get a sense of who they are as a person, and that's the best I can do, really.
Yeah, you pull things out of people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hey, then people want to talk,
right?
Generally.
Yeah. Well, Mark, this is a pleasure. I hear they're telling us.
Rock told us that you have to leave.
Oh, I got to do one of those, those junkets, where you get on, like, when you're promoting something.
A lot of people,
where you're just on the phone with a moderator, and you're doing morning radio shows, and they just you do one, they come back on. All right, this is Nashville. It's Joe and the Fat Guy. You're going to be talking to Joe. The fat guy is laughing, and then Terry will occasionally chime in if someone says something filthy. Okay, here you go.
That was the fucking goof we did on Louis C.K.'s show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Louis was doing one of those calls on his show.
Minneapolis.
And we were the radio voice on the phone. And it was like, hey, Louis, how you doing? Just not caring, paying attention.
What?
So what are we promoting? The What the Fuck podcast. People know about that. You got the big show on IFC.
Dead Possum is the episode. That's available.
Okay.
That's the second episode, and they put it up at IFC if people want to watch that. Yeah. The premiere is on Friday.
At 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
10 o'clock IFC, Marc Maron's new show.
I'll be in Milwaukee, too, on Saturday. This Saturday at the Pabst Theater if you want to come see me.
Fucking speaking of Milwaukee, the detective died. We haven't talked about it yet.
Who?
Right.
Pat Kennedy?
He's dead. We just had him on.
I didn't know that.
Jeffrey Dahmer's lead detective, the guy that was there from day one, and one of the only guys Jeffrey Dahmer really talked about. He came in, he had a book, it was a book, right?
No, it was
documentary.
Right.
He was awesome. This guy was like 6'8" with a mustache, old Milwaukee cop. And,
that's sad, man. I could have talked to him for hours.
He dropped dead of a heart attack. We love him so much.
Good,
we couldn't wait to have him back on.
I can't.
I guess we can now.
I hate hearing about people dropping dead of
heart attacks.
Terrible. Once you hit your late 40s, you're like, oh shit, that could happen.
Right. You got to add another thing that can happen.
Second guessing meat. Like, I better not.
When you're little, the only thing that can happen really is you get run over while you're riding your bike. But as the years go on, now that can happen.
More things added to the checklist.
Anything could happen now.
We're pretty much in the anything could happen category.
Exactly.
But you said Milwaukee, and it reminded me of Pat Kennedy. He was such a nice fucking guy.
I had not heard that.
Remember we were talking about his dick on the way home?
Yeah, he had a giant
Me and Jimmy were laughing our asses off because he came in here with tight jeans, and I'm telling you, this fucking guy was packing.
Really?
Oh, dude.
Isn't it weird when you notice that as a guy? You're like,
but it makes you laugh.
It makes you laugh, but there's part of you that wants to say something like, what's going on in your pants?
What is that?
What does that even look like? I'm not gay, but can I look at that?
Yeah. But anyway, it was a stretch. You're playing Milwaukee. It just made me think of that really fast. And Marc Maron's new book, Attempting Normal, I'm fucking reading this one.
Thanks, guys.
I don't read a lot of the books that come in here.
Yeah, I think you'll know more about me. You'll probably call me up and go, you okay?
Yeah.
I just read the thing.
This one I'll absolutely read. I'm a fucking fan of Marc Maron's, absolutely. Always have been.
Yeah.
It's great to see you guys.
And we talked off air, but I really am sorry about last week. You were caught in the crossfire. Just because our fans started, fucking really giving you the business.
Fans are very understanding, and they always take everything at face value.
What kind of scumbag?
Oh, my God.
You disloyal, horrible man.
Long story short, you were caught in the crossfire.
You're treasonous.
How dare you?
And we apologize for that.
Look, I apologize for causing any aggravation. I love you guys. It's great to talk to you.
Had nothing to do with you.
All right. Thanks, man.
Marc Maron, everyone.
Robin.